The NBA season is among us.
Ain't it? So we got WNBA playoffs. I mean, WNBA finals kicking off. The Bulls had their media day, and it was pretty entertaining, more entertaining than any of their games last season. And the preseason started. And if you want to get freaky with it, LeBron and Bronny, they played together. No Diddy.
Oh boy, here we go.
You aren't excited. You don't sound like it.
I mean, the general idea, yeah, I'm happy for him. But the hoopla that this season is going to be because of it, not so much.
You've been dealing with LeBron hoopla for 21 seasons already. Man. I mean, it's a part of your fan experience, bro.
Yeah, it is. That's true.
You got to breathe it in, enjoy it now, because one day the hoopla, the LeBron James hoopla, was going to be gone. And then what?
Can't take him for granted. That's true.
Right. But the Bronny hoopla, we ain't got to stand for that. Oh man! But this is a Chicago show, so it's only right we kick it off at least talking about Chicago basketball. The Sky didn't make the playoffs, so let's move on to the Bulls, who also didn't make the playoffs. Media day and the preseason. Which one of those? What from media day or what has happened with the Bulls preseason so far? What's your takeaways? What's stood out to you?
We have a lot of good dancers on our team. Yeah, they have routines they've done. But other than that, it seems like very calm. Like everybody's like they're acting like nothing happened over the offseason. Like Zach seems like, I don't care that they were trying to trade me. I'm still here. I'm still a company man. Like he does. I figured he'd come in with some animosity, some anger, but he seems cool, calm, and collect. So did Vooch say anything? I didn't see anything from Vooch.
I didn't see anything of note from Vooch as well. But yeah, I want to echo what you said about Zach. He does sound like a company man. No animosity, no bad blood. I expected some shenanigans, being as that we've seen from former Clutch clients. Then when they want to trade, they
he's Clutch. Yeah,
they forced their way out. But Zach said, "Hey, I'm here to do whatever you need of me to do. I understand that the team may be moving in a different direction. They tried to get rid of me. I asked to be gone, but until something happens, I'm here to ball." What does that mean for you? What kind of role do you want to see Zach in?
Well, that I'm here to ball, that could be a double entendre. That could be, hey, I'm ready to showcase for another team that wants me. But I mean, it sounds like he's just gonna, hey, I'm here. I'm gonna do my job. That's what it sounds like. But Zach has never been a real rowdy kind of, I'm gonna shake the table type of guy though. So I guess this is his character.
Yeah, friend of the show, Daryl Mayberry, used to be with the Oklahoman, now writes for the Athletic. He echoes those same sentiments that Zach LaVine is pretty much a company. I don't want to double back down on the company man time, but he clocks in, clocks out. No drama at work. I don't have a work girlfriend. I don't be in the rumors. I just clock in, do my 8, clock out, and go home.
Hard at lunch pail.
Yeah, lunch pail type guy. You're right. If Zach had a regular job, you think he would be one of those guys that has those.
He definitely got the fancy igloo cooler, not the soft one either.
Yeah, he did. Oh yeah, the one with the snaps that locks into place.
Yeah.
For me, when I heard Zach at media day, and he was saying that he would fill any role, be a leader, be a team player, or and not participate in any of the rumors or the bad juju that may come around come around the roster. He said if it ain't come from him or his representatives personally, believe it.
That.
When I heard that, I figured that okay, this is a show and dance, right? This is a the Bulls and Zach's team, their representatives. They're like, all right, they came to the agreement. Like, all right, you play nice. We'll look out for you when we do find a trade partner that you like.
Yeah.
But let's say Zach is there for majority of the season. I don't even want to say full season because you know how Zach gets with his health. Zach
no, he's not this year.
No. Okay. All right. So
not this year.
Over 72 games.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's a bit much.
Yeah, 72 is a lot.
How much you got to do to be award eligible? 60, 62, 63?
Yeah, 60 something. I forgot. What is it? 65?
Let's say 65. He played more than 65 games?
Yes.
That'll be
off season to recover. Oh, I don't know. Is he in the hunt for any awards? Is that on the radar?
I wouldn't. He's not on my short list for any awards this year. To go back into that, if he plays over 65 games.
I can see him playing over 65, though. Yeah.
All right. And he is a happy camper. He is producing the way the Bulls want him to do. That's on the court and off the court. What's a good year for Zach LaVine?
A good year. Just you're talking about before the inevitable trade.
Does a trade happen? Because I would think like a good season would.
It gotta happen.
It would instigate a trade, right?
I don't see him. I don't see how he finishes the season as a Bull. He gotta get at least back up to his 24, 25 a game, I would think. But I don't. Yeah, I think he can still do that with this roster.
I mean, why not? Who's stopping him other than Kobe? I mean, Kobe, you expect Kobe to be the one, right? The focal of the offense, and who should be the two? No matter how you look at it, those are your primary perimeter scorers. You're breaking up. Who did you say?
Pat Williams.
I don't know if I heard you correctly. I think you said Pat Williams.
Patrick Williams.
I think my headphones are busted. I can't believe
this game up, right? Is this a contract year for Pat?
I believe no. He signed his contract already.
All right, yeah, he did sign already.
He got his ducats. He's a well-paid man. He can afford the nicest. He can afford a real nice brownstone over there in the Gold Coast, Roscoe Village. Him and Zach LaVine could be neighbors.
Yeah, they could.
So you're saying a good season for Pat, a good season, 20 to 24 points, something like that, right?
For Zach,
yeah. I think when he went to the All-Star game, he was averaging like 26, 27, right?
27.4. And the
So
following year, 24.4.
So you see a bounce back, but not necessarily an all-star.
No, I don't think he'll make an all-star. I mean, that would be kind of crazy, but I don't think he'll make an all-star.
What does a bounce back season for Zach LaVine look like for the Bulls record-wise?
That's the conundrum. Because it's a lot of people. I mean, I didn't see the preseason game. As you know, the Chicago Sports Net channel is not available everywhere, which is crazy. I might have to purchase an antenna to watch the Bulls. And I'm in the Chicagoland area. I cannot even watch the game. Xfinity doesn't have it. It's crazy.
Well, it is we talked about this, right? Rick likes to say this is the Chicago, the Chicago Crane business report when I get to talking about this type of stuff. But it made no sense to me that Jerry will pull his team from NBC Chicago and not put them on streaming.
Exactly.
It made no sense. I see a lot of teams.
They are on streaming. They're on DirecTV and I think Uverse.
Well, I mean that means they have an agreement with DirecTV to carry their games. But when I say streaming, I mean they produce their own games. Like
they're like they have an app,
right?
Oh yeah. That they don't have yet.
Our games are here. They're on streaming. You can come see them here for this price.
Right.
Right. The landscape for local sports broadcast rights is ever changing with Diamond Sports Group going belly up and all the other stuff. I don't want to bog anybody listening. I don't want to bog anybody down with all that minutia, but you see this with a lot of teams in Major League Baseball, around the NBA, in National Hockey League. They're deciding to put their games over the air for antenna for bunny ears, as we used to call them back in the day, until they figure out their next move or until they get a decent deal from another cable provider or something like that, or until they can finally figure out how to create a streaming app and what's the price point and put that on there for them. To me,
isn't that what Phoenix did?
No, Phoenix, the guy from Phoenix, he did it both ways. He came out and said, well, I love the fans so much, I'm going to make our games free over the air. And everybody clapped for him, like, and I'm sitting here like, bro, that's because you don't have anyone to pay you for them. If someone was paying for them, then they wouldn't be free over the air. I mean, just you know how PR game goes, right? But Jerry doesn't have that problem. NBC Sports Group isn't Bally Sports. It isn't one of those affiliates owned by Diamond Sports Group. He could have re-up with NBC and kept getting that chunk of change that isn't negligible, right? That money is a big piece of the operating revenue for these NBA teams. For all the NHL teams, Major League Baseball teams, that local money, that local TV contract is not something to sneeze at. So the Bulls, you're not searching for, you're not playing, you're not fooling anybody and thinking that you're going to be competitive, right?
Exactly.
So you need to make all the money you can. Now, the Bulls, they do pretty well at the gate, but the gate is such a small percentage to what you use for profit and revenue. I don't care. You can have sellout to sellout to sellout. You could have all the advertisers around the stadium. Your team store can do great. That is still peanuts to TV dollars. TV dollars is a check written. Well, a check is written at the end of the season. You have to play a certain amount of games before the money's actually hit your bank account. So, as it used to be, the NBA you had to play at least 71 games. It's like, okay, you got 71 games. All right, here's a check for $20 million.
Yeah,
you're not making $20 million at the gate. I'm sorry. Parking, ticket sales, whatever the hell, all that. No. It don't compare. Local gate, and then you have the larger national TV deal that they share with the rest of the teams. That TV money is important. So I am baffled that Jerry will pull his team off of NBC Chicago and really have no plan of what to do with them.
Yeah, that's the crazy part. Because once they pull, I'm like, man, NBC Sports on this. I'm like, oh, okay, well. I should get an email from YouTube TV saying this is where I can watch the Bulls.
Mm-hmm.
Hasn't happened yet. It's not happened.
And you would think, because, and again, we talked about this before, you had the example from the Cubs when they started Marquee Sports Channel during the pandemic. Not a great year to start a business. Not a great year. They started that during the pandemic. They're like, okay, this is where all the Cubs games going to be. What else is going to be on there besides Cubs games? Like, what else? Nothing, right? So it's not necessarily a good purchase. But what they was finding an issue with, they want a certain dollar for carrying this channel. They want DirecTV, YouTube TV, Roku, whomever else, Xfinity. All right, pay us this much money a month for, and you can have this channel. That's how this thing goes, right? And then they agree to that, and then they turn around and charge you, the consumer, certain amount to have this channel. But what they do is they package that channel with other channels that you really, really, really want.
Exactly.
So you end up paying that money anyway. So as you saw with DirecTV lately, when they had this dispute with ESPN a few weeks back, they say, "Look, bro, I'm gonna tell you the truth. We ain't got it. we can't do it. We don't have the same amount of subscribers no more. We're down to like 5 million, 10 million subscribers total. We just can't do this no more. It's too expensive." And that just makes you think, like, who's running the business over there? I know Michael Reinsdorf is in charge of the Bulls, but somebody dropped the ball here. If you're going to pull off of a sure thing of NBC, you got to have a safety net right underneath that. You got to have your own app. You got to have a plan B. The Knicks got their own app. That's why James Dolan was bitching when they signed this new TV deal, and it took so many games from his app and put them on national. He's like, "Hey man, you cutting into the profit that I don't have to share. I don't like that." So
he would rather have no national games.
He would prefer, well, maybe put the Knicks out there a couple of times, but you know that's all pooled money, right? The money that your own local broadcast, that's your money. You ain't got to share that. The stuff bought at your team store, you ain't got to share that. Now, if somebody goes in the NBA store and buys a Knicks jersey, you know, you get 1/30th of that. You got to share that. You got to split that up around the whole team, around the whole league. But back to my Knicks example, they have their own app. They have the Knicks, the Liberty, I think the Yankees. You can watch them.
I'm gonna ask what else was on there besides the Knicks. Okay.
They got all that stuff, all the New York teams. I think there's 2 different competing apps in New York. I think some of the teams are on this one app, and some of the teams are on another app, another TV station. I know the Yes Network has some stuff going on. The MSG network has some stuff, which is owned by, well, James Dolan owns that, and the MSG network owns the Knicks. So that's the type of play that Jerry should have been setting up. He should have been setting up something that would make the Bulls a perennial cash cow. And now I'm just looking like, listen, I know the Bulls are ran like shit, but now you're telling me the business is ran like shit too? Damn, Jerry. You're taking L's after L's this year. The White Sox, they don't even talk about it.
So if he did create an app for the Bulls, it couldn't just be the Bulls, or you have to put more teams on there, right?
And that's the beauty of it. He has that. He owns another team. He's in partnership with the Blackhawks. He has the necessary content for it to be a worthwhile venture. So it made zero sense to me when the news came out. Like, yeah, we're going to take them off NBC, but we're going to put them on our own channel, and we're going to sell this channel to DirecTV, Xfinity, and so on and so forth. Like, well, why would you do that? That's just you're still. It's the same thing. You're just not getting the money for NBC. You're getting the money directly from Comcast and all the such, which is a dangerous game, because they can always tell you, like, hey, we don't want to pay that price.
Exactly. Yep.
And as what you're telling me is that only DirecTV is paying that price, and everybody else can sit it out and wait until you lower your price. If that's the case,
I think that's what's happening now. A lot of people are saying YouTube TV isn't gonna. They're not gonna be. Hey, let me pay you for the bull. They not in no rush, so it might. And another thing I'm seeing now too. I haven't buckled down and got the antenna yet, but people are saying, "Man, I done bought like 5 antennas and this shit still don't work." Like I still can't pull up the channel. So once I get the antenna, I'm gonna have to deal with that headache too.
I'm calling cap. I'm calling cap. For one, I don't think anybody's going through that type of legwork to watch the Bulls. I think they're over exaggerating.
I do want to see they only got what 2 national games. I'm gonna have to get something, man.
Well, there is always that option to wink wink, watch it on a computer screen. But if you have most of these TVs, they are set up already with built-in antennas. So free channels are supposed to be free. The Bulls, they're there somewhere. You just got to look for them.
In this digital age, saying I have to look for the Bulls is kind of crazy, though.
Yeah, I mean,
they were so accessible before.
That's the first loss of what should be many this season. I don't get that decision. I mean, well, I didn't go to school for economics or business or anything like that. So maybe maybe they see something that I don't see. But me, looking at the landscape for what it is, it don't pass the sniff test for me.
And speaking on that point you just made, that's another thing I'm seeing. I'm seeing a lot of after going off the first I know it's just preseason, but going off the first preseason game, fans are like, "Hey, yeah, I see a lot of hope." Like, a lot of people are saying we too good to tank. We can't tank, even though that's what I think we need to do. They see too much promise in Matas.
No, and that'd be another fail. The Bulls, you need to realize who you are. That's the first step in becoming the better version of you. You have to be honest with yourself. Look in the mirror and be honest. Like, hey, look, I'm fat. I need to lose weight, and these are the steps I need to take to get to my desired weight. All right, I'm broke. I need to change my budget. I need to cut back on XYZ to get to the amount to get to where I need to be comfortably in my savings and my overall financial health. The Bulls cannot keep playing this 30 to 38 win,
10th seed
bullshit. If
basketball purgatory.
Right. It's been way too long since the Bulls were actually relevant. I think since they had that 1 year with Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan, but I don't even count that. The Bulls haven't been relevant since Derrick Rose was in town, and that is going on 10 years since he was traded. I think he was traded in 2016? No, 2017, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
So it's getting close, and they haven't made any incremental change in the new AKME era.
No,
that makes you even begin to believe that they can do something. The plan for rebuilding in the NBA is pretty cut and dry. You lose, you start getting good draft picks. You stack those up a couple of ways. Boom. The next thing you know, you're good again. Look at the Minnesota Timberwolves. They lose every year, which way with Cat. Then they finally get the number 1 seed. Now you got Ant, and now they are in the Western Conference Finals, right? Yeah. Oklahoma City Thunder. They had a super team. Then they got rid of everybody.
Yep.
stacked up a bunch of draft picks.
Not a couple.
Stacked up a bunch of draft picks, hit on some, made a good trade to get rid of the bummiest superstar in the league, and now they're back. They have an MVP favorite in SGA, and they have a very good supporting cast with him around him. All of guys they've drafted.
Who was the superstar they got rid of? You said
Paul George.
Oh, that's a good description. Okay,
I don't even want to call him a superstar. He's a guy. He's just a guy.
That's a little harsh.
It is. He's better than just a guy. He did have
slightly better.
that one season where he was an MVP candidate.
Yeah.
All right. Do we see eye to eye on this, right? So we think the Bulls should not be playing to win games this year.
Correct. They should not.
Right. But let's talk about Matis. How do you say his name? Matis?
I believe it's Matis.
Matis.
That's what it looks like.
He's getting a lot of preseason pub. Now, him, Pat
good
Williams,
defender from what I've seen.
Good defender. We'll see. We'll see when that's put to the test in the NBA season.
Middle name is Arvydas. Good sign.
Is it? I mean, Arvydas he was pretty
Hall of Famer, right?
Yeah, he's a Hall of Famer. Not for nothing he did in the NBA.
Right. For the other stuff, other league.
He was so overrated. Let me not even say overrated. Oh. I did not watch him overseas, so I don't know how good he actually was. But when I'm watching games in the 90s, early 2000s, and I'm watching Arvydas Sabonis on the Portland Trailblazers, them loaded Portland Trailblazers teams, and they just say, "Oh man, he's a great player." Blah 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 blah. You know, back in his home country, he was doing this, then the third. And I'm like,
yeah, this was before YouTube. Where you could play
and I'm just like, okay, but he ain't doing nothing but catching the ball at the top of the key and passing it, and taking a behind the head set shot. I be like, what's so great about this?
Yeah, he'll go behind the back every once in a while.
Yeah,
pull out a move or two.
We'll move the slowest move or two.
Yes.
All right. So Matis, Zach, Kobe, Pat Dub, and Vucci Main. I don't think this team on paper is pretty good, but let's just say we're wrong. Mm-hmm. Let's say this team is decent, and they can contend. They're scrappy. They can defend. Let's say Matis is a good defender, and Pat comes into his own, having some more space to do whatever he does. Kobe continues to excel, and Zach, as we talked about earlier, he has a prototypical Zach season. Right? Let's say all those things click. Bulls, can I interest you in saying the Bulls have a 39-win season?
Yeah. Just our luck. That probably could happen. Yes.
39 wins. That's obviously takes you out of the running for a lottery pick. But
exactly.
But I mean, it puts you back at being a not even a 10th seed. You're fighting for a legit 6th seed. At that point, you're getting a real playoff spot because you're 500.
Yeah, basically. Yep.
Yeah, and in the East, 40 wins, 40 to 43, 44 wins is where you expect to see the 6th seed, 6th, 7th, 8th seed at. How would that make you feel as a Bulls fan? Even though you can't watch them because you don't know where to find the games.
I mean, it's like a double-edged sword. It's like I want to see him do. I don't want to root against him, but in this situation, man, I don't want them to win, man.
I just wanted to ask, is that a dog crying in the background?
Yeah, man. My house is the drop your dog off babysit house. So R.I.P. to my real dog King. He passed away. That's the only dog that should have been in this house. But
You're doing the Lord's work. That's what DMX would say. Rick, you showed up, man. You've been celebrating the Mets.
Let's win.
You've been celebrating the Mets, man. Congrats to the Mets. They go into the championship series.
I never see you wear any Sox gear though. That's crazy.
I'm not a Sox fan.
Born and raised in the Chicagoland area, but
I was born and raised here, and I'm not an Illinois fan. I'm an Arizona guy.
and college is a little different.
Payday is not from North Carolina, but he roots for North Carolina.
Also weird.
I'm actually in North Carolina right now. So
oh yeah, but you're not born and raised.
He's potting from North Carolina.
I'm recharging. I'm recharging my fan powers.
Oh, okay.
I don't think you've ever potted from New York.
No. But I will though.
Now, hey, you got to go to City Field, man. Got to get in the streets. Yeah, get the vibe.
That's where the Mets play.
Yeah.
Have you been there?
Yeah.
Flushing.
Oh, okay. All right.
Flushing, New York, right?
All right.
Yeah. Queens. Sorry if I'm eating. It's been an exhilarating day. To our thousand subscribers. Yeah, I know this is a basketball pod, but yeah, baseball. I'm a Mets fan through and through. One of my favorite baseball players of all time is Mike Piazza.
What?
Yeah, Mike Piazza is one of my favorite.
I would, if you would have gave me 5 guesses. I know you for a long time. If you gave me 5 guesses about who your favorite Mets player was,
Barry Bonds. Barry Bonds is one of my all-time favorite players, but Mike Piazza is like probably top 5.
Really?
I would have never guessed that. Mm-hmm. If you gave me 5 guesses, I'd have said Strawberry. I'd have said Jose Reyes.
Reyes. Before Jose Reyes was Mike Piazza.
Wow, I never would have thought about the Pizza Man.
Play catcher, right?
Yeah. Oh, you know a little baseball.
A little bit.
Well, I mean, he transcended baseball, man. He was a little bit of a superstar.
But I'm here. Who?
Mike Piazza.
I believe so. Yes.
All right.
But I'm here for the Bulls, Chicago Bulls and Chi-Town Bulls. I'm sorry.
It doesn't really look like it, but
I'm here. You know what I'm saying?
It look like you're here for the Mets bulletin.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, yeah, but yeah, it was a joyous occasion today. It was stressful. I communicated with y'all through and through until the last out. You know, Zeke tried to jinx me like, "Oh, it's over, 4-1." I'm like, "No,
what was the final score?
4-1." It wasn't.
That's what I told you.
No, but if Pay will tell you, it was a guy on first and second. They had a high run at the plate.
I didn't look at it.
It was. Yeah, it was. This was a little tight there. It was a little tight. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, yo. Yeah. So we're happy for you. We excuse you from eating during the show. We know you got to. we know you got to refuel. Get your electrolytes in.
On the docket though. What am I in the middle of?
So we talked about where can you watch the Bulls. We don't know. We talked about why that is. We talked from a business standpoint, so you missed out on that.
Kramer featuring Vince.
Right. Correct. Now we're talking about what are the expectations for this team? So obviously Zach's coming back. Zach says he's going to play his role. He's going to do whatever he's asked. He's going to be Zach. He's a lunch pail guy, as Zeke called him. He just clocks in, does his job.
Yes, sir.
He shows up with the nice igloo lunch pail, pulls up in the 4x4.
The best, sir, with honor.
Right.
Do you guys believe that? I'm sorry. Do you believe that he's a lunch pail guy? That he's here to be a good soldier?
He's not really showing me otherwise. Had a few missteps.
I mean, for the most part, I would have to agree that he is a good soldier. He is a good soldier as long as he's in the front of the line, right? If he's wearing a Bulls jersey. Now you didn't see that when he was with the Timberwolves because I mean he was a young guy. He had to know your role and shut your mouth at that point. But we saw a little bit last year when he wasn't getting, I guess, the role that he preferred. It was a little spouty. It was a little, it was a little petulant, some might say.
That's the only time it kind of creeped out.
Yeah.
Zach has never been a malcontent. He's never been a bad locker room guy. So
no.
I believe when he says, "Yo, I'm just here. I'm going to do my due diligence. I'm going to be a good player. I'm going to listen." I don't think he's not that type of dude.
His nickname isn't Hollywood.
He ain't a Hollywood. Yeah, he's not a Hollywood.
There's a player on the Bulls whose nickname is Hollywood. Is it Bucci Bang?
That Jimmy Butler?
Oh yeah. Well, Jimmy Butler, he's heat culture. How's he Hollywood? He do want to go to LA. Though. All right. Yeah. So we got that. So Zach is going to be his lunch pail self. He's going to come. He's going to clock into work. No, he's not going to be in no workplace drama. As he said, he ain't going to have a work wife. He's just going to clock in, clock out, go home, and come back and do it again. So with that said, we can expect typical Zach, right? 23 points per game, couple of clutch turnovers, stuff of that nature.
More importantly, and that's good that he's going to be a good teammate. He's going to be a person that listens to coaching and whatnot. But another thing is if he's going to give like the Kobe Whites the gems, the jewels, in order to take his game a next level. So that's important that he's still a good locker room guy. This does sound promising. This does sound good as far as moving forward for the Bulls, because you don't want a malcontent in that locker room with you meddling in the possible rebuild stage. So, and you want Zach to ball out, because if he balls out, you can get the maximum that you know what I'm saying, is trade bait. So you want Zach to be a good soldier, which, like I say, he's a professional. So he's doing what he's supposed to do and being professional. And that, you know what I'm saying, the definition of being a professional is what he did at that press conference.
Yep.
Yeah, and I don't think what he said at media day was not, it wasn't coerced. I think it was a little bit of planned from him and his team and the Bulls management. They had like a understanding, like, okay, look, we'll do good for you if you just, you say the right things, do the right things. Cool. I don't think it was something that it was scripted or anything like that. He just came out and just kept it a buck. I agree from that standpoint. Because I think he feels like, hey, you know what? I'm not going to retire as a Bull. So the best thing for me is to, if I want to go to where I want to go to, Lakers, I got to do what I got to do. Right.
And also a lot of that was he mentioned he hasn't spoken to the media he had to clear up a lot of stuff because they didn't hear from him. So he had to put a lot on the table and clear that up too.
All right. So we have Mateus, who's getting a lot of pub right now, as Zeke is saying, might be a good defender. We got Pat Williams, who was said to be a good defender, but he'll have a lot more elbow room now that some of the veterans that was in front of him are now gone. Kobe White, hopefully he can take the next level and become an elite player in this league. And then you have Zach doing his 24 and up, right? So where does that leave the Bulls? Obviously, if everything goes in that path, along that path, they're not a tanking team.
Can't forget about Giddey.
Oh yeah, Josh Giddey. Can't forget about the Gittler. But we'll talk about him in a second. I want to save that for the end of the show. But so where does that leave the Bulls? They got they're contending for a sixth 6th seed at that point. To me, for me, 6th to 8th. If that all those things hit the way they want them to hit.
Yeah,
I think that
that's not a bottom of the barrel team.
but I think that they're gonna do the first 10 games. They're gonna play the role of like we're gonna try hard, but as the season progresses, they're gonna and injuries happen. They're gonna definitely start to lose game effectively, so to speak.
Mhm.
And with that being said, you'll see the mysterious Zach has a injury. Pat Wood, well, you don't need for Pat Williams to be injured, but you're going to see a lot of injuries. This is my opinion. This is my perspective on it as how the season goes. I think that they will prediction. They will go in the first. They'll try hard in the first couple games. And when I say couple
so that
games,
would be a Zach showcase.
yeah, it'll be like a showcase,
and
then they'll shut them down, or
Oh.
they'll like it is not even like it's a Zach showcase, but then they'll shut Kobe White down, or they'll like it'll be injuries that that are minor that they'll really sit them down for. So I believe that they'll try hard the first couple games. Like if they come out 9-1, then they're like, oh, we got momentum, we're gonna try hard. But if they're like 4-6, they're gonna be like, all right, we know we are who we are. So
you know what you are 10 games in,
25 games in.
What's that around All-Star break?
No, 25 is around it's around December. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So they'll give it the first year, the first couple months, and then from there they'll tail off. So yeah, it's gonna be good times the first couple games. They're gonna try hard, but then after that it's gonna be a wrap.
Do you think there was any code? Vince mentioned this. Any coding in when he said,
Zach,
"Hey, if you don't hear from me or my team, don't believe it."
I believe that because Zach, he keeps there is no bad rapport with him as far as the media. Like he's a professional.
Yeah.
So with that being said, I do believe like whatever comes out, if it's not from him, then it's all speculation. Zach has always been a class A guy as far as the locker room and toward the media. So I don't think that it should be any disbelief or negativity in regards to him not giving the best foot forward. I think he is going to give a best foot forward. It would be beneficial for him to try his best and do well because you can get traded.
Yeah, he don't really have a choice.
So
he does want to do well.
Yeah, he wants to do well. Zach is a different breed. Where as far as he he's not a lazy dude. He's not a lazy all-star. He's not that. He's not a guy that rests on his he works. He works hard to where he is. I will give him that.
Gym rat.
Yeah, he's a gym rat.
I'll tell you this. I was putting the cheese out there, but let me tell you this: if Zach shows up and does what he's supposed to do, and pseudo all-star Zach comes back, and the Bulls are decent, that phone's going to ring. He's going to be out. He's going to be out the door before the Christmas games, guarantee it. And then the tank can officially start.
I don't think before Christmas games. That's 20 games. I don't think they make a. I don't think he gets traded till the trade deadline. I think
it's more. It's smart. It's better business to wait to the trade deadline, right? Because you get panic deals at that point. It's smart business for the Bulls to wait that long, but it's smart business for a team to go ahead and get him early, right? Because if you want to make a move to improve your team in season, it's best to do it early. It's best to do it early because then you're not pressed. You have less competition. You can state your price a little bit better, and you can maneuver. You can get a better deal as versus waiting to the All-Star break. Once you wait for that, hey,
we know you get rid of him.
Right. We know you're gonna do something, and everybody's blowing your phone up. So it's a lot of it's Russian roulette on both sides.
And the deadline is right here. We can see the deadline. So hey, you got to make a move.
But I've told Zeke this year, time and time again, that trades normally don't happen within the first couple months of the season. They just wait till
Mhm.
trade deadline. You know what I'm saying? Like Dame Lillard getting traded right before the season. Those are that's an aberration. That doesn't happen too often. Normally trades, if you know a guy wants to get traded, it's the trade deadline. So unless it's James Harden and it's just ridiculous, and you're just a poison to the locker room. But other than that, and Zach Levine is not a malcontent type of character. So with that being said, it'll be trade deadline.
With that being said, malcontents in the locker room. Let's end the show talking about two additions to the Bulls locker room that are kind of puzzling, right? Especially in this climate of Harvey Weinstein, Me Too, and the Dittler. The Bulls, they traded for Josh Giddey, who is, if you haven't heard, he was accused of having an underage relationship with a teenager while he was with the Oklahoma City Thunder. And this week, the Bulls signed, I don't know if they signed him to an actual deal. It was more like a two-way type of deal. Someone can explain it to me, but they got Josh Primo. If you've never heard that name before, Josh Primo was a draft pick for the San Antonio Spurs, and he got cut after being, let's say, inappropriate with the team psychiatrist. Reports were that he was undressing, doing therapy sessions, and the way it read to me, this was a continual thing, and that he would do it. She would say something. He'll do it again. She would say something to his boss, the coach and upper management. They'll try to sweep it under the rug, and he'll do it again until the point where, like, all right, bro, we look, you got to go. And now he washes up with the Chicago Bulls. What do you all have any reservations? So, like, what's going on with your team? Do you think your team is one? Do you think it's the team that can rehabilitate? Not saying either of these guys are guilty yet. I mean, I don't think that's my place to say yet at this juncture. But do you think this is the right locker room for those type of not to say characteristics, but accusations? And do you think that? Well, do you even want that type of distraction on your team as a fan?
Well, Primo is gone already.
Well,
the same day he gets signed. I don't know why we signed him, but they waited a couple hours later.
What kind of contract was that?
Exhibit 10.
Oh, Exhibit 10. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know why, but
I'm fairly familiar with Exhibit 10 contract, but Rick, this is more your wheelhouse, man. What's an Exhibit 10 contract? Just for those that don't know.
I think Exhibit 10 is the ability, and you can correct me because you have it right there off the script, off the riff. Exhibit 10 is like we can waive you at any time, or you have a you have something where, like, there's something in this contract where, like, basically we can just waive you whenever we want because preceding circumstances allow us to. So
if a 1-year non-guaranteed contract that gives the player the opportunity to play in the G League with the NBA team during training camp.
Yeah, it's a training camp.
Yeah,
and it's nothing to be like. Even when he got signed, I didn't think he was gonna make the team anyway. It's just a tryout.
I mean, but Primo's pretty good. He was. Didn't he play for Kentucky? If I'm not mistaken, I know he played in the SEC. I'm blanking on what school he played for, but the Spurs drafted him in the lottery. Alabama, right? Is the SEC? I knew it. The Spurs drafted him in the lottery, so he's a pretty good hooper.
12th
pick. And guys like that, they're going to give opportunities over and over again. He's a lottery guy,
one and done.
Yeah, they're going to he's going to get another opportunity.
Only average 8 points.
I don't know about that, Zeke, because another opportunity would have been a contract. He got signed. He got cut. No one picked him up the rest of that season, and I think that wasn't his last season. That was a season before last that this happened, and now he's getting Exhibit 10, and he was cut the same day. One, I think that's his last shot. Two, because I think now he's got to go overseas or to the Mexico.
How is he? 23, 22?
Yeah, he's young. I don't even think he's 21. Yeah,
yeah,
maybe
he
20.
was a teenager when he was drafted. One, if you already at that age, like I said, if you're at that age and you're only getting Exhibit 10 offers right now, you're cooked. Your NBA career is over. You got to go to the Mexican League or the California Penal League or wherever that is where Dwight was getting where Dwight was playing. The Shanghai Barracudas or whatever the hell their name is. I think that's it for Primo. But what's most confusing, I guess, well, the question that's popping up in my head is, what made you call him in, call his agent, sign him, and then call his agent back hours later and say, you know what, we're good?
Honestly, I'm not going to put too much thought process in the signing and release of Primo. I will say that it was a tryout nonetheless, just to see or what he had to offer. But
you don't have to sign anybody to try them out. You can call them in for a tryout for free of charge.
Yeah, but it still doesn't hit the cap. So it's
I mean, yeah. You're right, Rick. You're right. But I think the thing that you said that's most poignant is I wouldn't put too much thought in it. I don't think the Bulls put too much thought in anything they do. Going back to what me and Zeke was talking about before you got here, the where are they broadcasting their game set? I don't think they thought too much about, when they cut that deal, cut their relationship with NBC Chicago. I don't think they thought too much about it. And I don't think they thought too much about calling up Josh Primo's agent beforehand. I don't think that'd have been a good look for him to be on the roster anyway. And I think they figured that out after the fact. Wow. Now for Giddey, his is a little bit more. His has actually reached the legal department. His situation is a little bit more known than Josh Primo. Josh Primo wasn't a known name. We shall see. So we understand Josh Primo is pretty talented. He makes if he does making this roster with the Bulls sometime this season, and you got Josh Giddey on the roster as well. That could be a distraction, because it ain't gonna take a journalist half their salt, and it ain't that many sports journalists out there anymore. Everybody's just meme artists now, but it ain't gonna take too much to put two and two to get some good aggregation for their story. Say, hey, why are the Bulls harboring Josh Giddey and Primo, freaky man, the freaky man duo?
I think it's a reach because I don't think that it's really I don't want to say it's not a big deal, but I think didn't Giddey get exonerated? Like he got excused, and I think
I wouldn't say exonerated. I think the family didn't want to cooperate, so the police had to.
But they're and I hate to use this phrase. It wasn't there a gray area, like the young lady was in an adult.
Yeah, like I think she snuck in the club, fake ID type thing.
So it's kind of in that sense, it's a gray area with that. So it doesn't tell that, oh yeah, this guy's, I
don't think he's out seeking.
Yeah, so the Bulls organization is looking at Giddey like he's a person that's not a outstanding citizen. I think that over time he's shown that, and his talent, as you all know, when it comes to sports, your talent outweighs whatever trouble that comes with you. Now, Primo, for the other hand, yeah, you can release him and there's no sweat off your sack. But I mean, as far as Giddey, they think that he's an outstanding citizen.
What the Oklahoma City police department, their official stance was they was unable to corroborate any criminal activity. I think the legal gray area that you all spoke to was that the age of consent in Oklahoma City is 15, something like that, and the girl was just over the line, just over the finish line. Still still a little nasty. What but then don't forget that Josh Giddey, I believe he was a teenager himself at the time, but an older teenager, 19, on the road to 20. So in a years aspect, it's not a big deal, but that years aspect is something you do later on in life. Like, you can date someone 4, 5, 6 years younger than you when you're 36 and no one will bat an eye. You do it when you're 20. Hey, you're breaking the law. So,
what eliminates all this? If Josh Giddey starts the year off averaging 20, 10, and 6.
Oh yeah, all that.
That's forgotten. No, there's no that's
eliminate is a funny word.
Average a triple double.
Hey, God rest.
He was getting booed when he touched the ball.
Dude, there's other athletes, and you don't want me to play this game. Going down the athletes' way, you forget what they've done off the court.
Yeah.
So let's not go down this
road. I don't forget. There's one very prominent athlete who did some stuff off the court, and a lot of people forgot. I ain't forgot. I ain't one of them people. Yeah. Rest in peace, though.
But I already know I know he was going there.
Are you talking about somebody else?
Well, there's also another notable that is a GOAT that you're not, what I'm saying, off the court, that he was a known gambler and he went and gambled. Yeah, y'all don't want to go down that route. So I'm right in saying that if Josh Giddey starts the year off 20, 10, and 6, and they're winning 8 of 10 games, you got, not you in particular, people are going to forget. I think people have already forgotten, to be honest.
All the change of scenery.
I mean,
I think that was in LA. He was getting booed every time he touched the ball.
I can go to the Dwight Howards of the world. I can go to Draymond Greens. I can go to a lot of players where.
What Draymond do?
Off the court, Jordan Poole. I mean, that was.
It happened on a court though.
Yeah, but that's still a negative black. That's a black.
We weren't supposed to see that.
Literally, it is a literal black eye.
Yeah. I mean, but if you
speaking of media, there he kind of got challenged on that too.
Yeah, I mean, but he's a Hall of Famer and he's a fucking champion, so no one's going to question that. And he's good, and he's made millions. So I mean, it's all for naught.
Yeah. Earlier this year, the NBA has also said they were investigating this. I'm not sure what that investigation has led to on the NBA side. They just said the NBA said a part of the Giddey thing is they're continuing to review the matter. So we shall see. But I will say this definitively, Rick. There's no way Giddey will ever average 20, 10, and 6 or whatever you said. That's not happening.
That's unrealistic.
He averaged 15, 9, and 9.
Wait a minute. Giddey averaging 20 in the first 10. I didn't say for the season. In the first 10 games, that's unheard of. Like, that's like, I said first 10. I didn't say 20 is not high for Giddey already averages 16.
Okay, so 10 game sample size. That's 200. That's 200 points. Let's just start there. That's 200 points over 10 games.
Yeah, I got something for this, but go.
And you're saying he always averages over the span of 82. 16. So let's say in 10 games, that's 160. That's 40 more points.
I've seen. Right? Go ahead. I'll let you.
Have you seen Giddey do it? Yeah.
I've seen Ronald, aka Flip Murray, average 27 in the first 10 games of the NBA season and drop down to 17. That's
Ronald Flip Murray is who he is because he's a shooter.
He's a gunner.
He's a gunner. That's right. You got to be a gunner to do stuff like that.
He isn't a gunner.
He's not a gunner.
No, he don't have a cool nickname. Flip. You expect somebody named Flip to give you buckets.
He looks
Giddey.
Looks like
Giddey. I expect somebody named Giddey to pass the ball.
Can I go down the list? Just a couple of names. Like, people forget about Kyrie Irving. He refurbished his brand. Remember in Brooklyn? Like, we forget. Oh yeah. First of all,
did he though?
Yeah,
it's a very touchy time. Time in Israel. So
Kyrie is okay now. Like, you notice Kyrie is. He's in Japan. Oh, look at him signing up.
He ain't gonna make the U.S.
Kyrie's infraction was not against Japanese people.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't. No. I'm just saying.
right.
I'm making that point of like he was like, oh, look at him, he's signing autographs. Look how cool Kyrie is.
When Kyrie gets a mega shoe deal again, then we can have a conversation.
He don't care about. He don't care about mega shoes.
Bullshit.
He's got to make.
He's never gonna be with Nike.
He's not gonna be with Nike. He don't want to be with.
He'll say it publicly. He don't care. But let me tell you something. This is a little. All athletes care about their PEs, right? You know it. I know it.
You got Anta.
You got it right.
Anta does not have what Nike has, and this is not.
So Klay Thompson don't care. Okay.
I'm just telling you right now. Look, Klay Thompson might be a little different. I'm talking about the quality of the shoe right now. I ain't talking about the money. I ain't talking about the visibility that comes from wearing Nike, anything like that. I'm talking about the quality of the shoe. When Nike brings you in as one of their athletes, they test your foot through in and throughout to give you the perfect type of shoe to help you be the best you can be. I know for a fact that Anta ain't putting that type of resources into their basketball department. So if you tell me that he don't care about having a Nike shoe deal, I'm going to tell you that's cap.
So stars that have anything outside of Nike, they don't like D Wade. He don't care about who is D Wade with? D Wade,
some Japanese shoe.
Li Ning. You didn't tell me D Wade don't care about his product?
Let me tell you. D Wade owned. He had a stake in that company, right?
Okay.
So that's a little different, right? So Kyrie bought some of that company, but I promise you, if Nike gave them any type of whatever they wanted, they said, "Come back to us," D Wade and the Kyrie will go.
Let me give you this.
They care. They care.
Kyrie is the man at his company. At Nike, he would be one of many. So when he goes to Li Ning or Anta, he is the prominent.
They put his dad on.
Yeah, he's the prominent athlete. So it's either you want to be the prominent athlete on his shoe deal, or you're going to be one of many on Nike. Because he would be top maybe 10 on Nike. It's not guaranteed he'd be top 10. So with that being said, it's either where you want to be notable or you want your own shit.
We understand. I mean, at our age, we understand. Peace is better than sometimes better. Sometimes just as good as prosperity, financial prosperity, right? So I can understand that from that perspective. And Kyrie is very, very headstrong. He is very defiant, and he don't back down from nothing. If he said it once, he's gonna keep saying it. Now, with that said, I'm gonna ask you: would you rather be top dog at Frontier Airline or one of many at United Airline? What I'm saying is, being the man at a company that is negligible versus being one of many at a company that is stronger and everyone knows your name. Shout out to Cheers. It is. I don't think there's much of a comparison.
It's the age-old question. It's almost like the age-old question of what career would you have? A guy that's a champion or a guy that's a notable all-star?
That's what the money.
Yeah, and if you want the money, that means you want the notoriety without the title, which means that you want to be the man, which means you're the man at Kyrie's company, Anta. You know what I'm saying? So
I think most people want the money.
And if you're the man if Kyrie
don't care about money.
Yeah, Kyrie don't care about money. He's got a bigger purpose.
That's what he'll tell you.
Another thing with Anta, his shoe is called the Enlightened Warrior. Nike ain't letting him do that.
No,
they let him do what he wanted. Anta, man. Of course,
he's got complete autonomy.
Yeah,
like he's got all creative. He's got all creativity. In Nike, he wouldn't have that. He would be.
No. He's you got a lot of creativity as a feature athlete. When Nike, you got a lot of you sign off on the shoe.
They ain't gonna let him call it Enlightened.
Yeah, they're not gonna let him call it whatever he wants.
No, they wouldn't. They would not send you out there in moccasins. You are correct.
Yeah, exactly. He wore moccasins in the finals.
He getting there, whatever design.
Yeah, he's doing whatever we do what we want here. He's doing whatever he wants.
Okay. My head hurts now. Yeah, Lightning Warrior. Okay.
He's a dookie. That's why.
Did he play for Duke? I don't remember that. I don't remember him playing against North Carolina. Did he win?
He played like 11 games?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Oh, well. Were any of them in conference?
I don't know.
Then he didn't play at Duke.
Oh.
All right. Moving. All right, let's close it up like this. Rick, your squad's going to the NLCS. Congratulations. My team, my second favorite basketball team, the Minnesota Lynx, are going to the finals. They are trying to become the first WNBA franchise with 5 championships. But they're going up against a super team, the New York Liberty, trying to become the first WNBA team to lose 6 times in the finals. Who y'all got? The super team or my squad? There's only one right answer.
I'm going to
Minnesota.
I'm going with Liberty.
All right. Whoa.
I'm going with the New York theme, being that the Mets won, and it's all about the Liberty, the Mets. It's good times in Times Square.
I got to tell you, Rick, this is a Chicago-centric podcast. You're not supposed to pick New York anything.
Yeah, but I'm sitting here wearing a Mets jersey.
We let you slide. Now you've gone too far. You've gone too far.
I think
the Liberty is smoke, though.
Yeah, I think the Liberty will come out.
Yeah, they lost in the finals last year to the Aces. They beat the Aces in the semifinals. It could just be their time, right? The Minnesota Lynx, they are a year ahead, maybe even 2 years ahead of schedule.
Yeah.
The Liberty have Breanna Stewart, one of the GOATs, former MVP. They have Jonquel Jones, another former MVP, Sabrina Ionescu, who will win an MVP at some point in her career. Courtney Vandersloot, former champion with the Chicago Sky.
Hard-nosed fan.
I think I read somewhere that Courtney Vandersloot has the most not record. I don't want to say record, but she has the highest career earnings in WNBA history. That doesn't make sense to me, but whatever. But they are loaded. They are loaded over there in New York. So if anybody's going to beat the Liberty, it's going to be the Lynx, because the Lynx did beat them 3 out of 4 games during the season. So
the Lynx are like the Lakers of the WNBA, right? Or the Celtics. They got the most titles, right?
No, they're tied for the most. If we want to make a comparison, I would say the Houston Comets are like the Celtics, seeing as how they went on their run when the league was a baby. They won 4 straight to kick off the league. The Minnesota Lynx, they won 4 in 7 years, starting back in 2011, I believe. With you remember Simone Augustus, Maya Moore, Rebecca Brunson, Lindsay Whalen, Sylvia Fowles, all legends. That's off the dome too. So if I was to compare them to a team, I would probably say they are the Chicago Bulls.
It's a good one. It's a good one.
You like that dismount. What's next from Sports Life and Hip Hop?
We got a couple of interviews lined up.
Yeah, interviews coming.
We got basketball fantasy draft. And we have an entrepreneur podcast coming up where a couple of guys that are entrepreneurs that have their own clothing design are bringing out some of their clothes or whatnot, and informing us how they started and all that. So that's going to be, tune in for that. That'll probably be
Entrepreneurship 101.
Right. That'll be in the next month or so.
I can't wait for that one. Do I know any of these guys?
Oh yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
Actually.
Yeah, you do.
Bet.
So we got some stuff lined up, and to all the people that's watching, forgive me, I was late. I'm eating on the air. The Mets won. It's been a roller coaster of a day, emotionally. Pause. It's been crazy. So Mets win, advance, and so this time of year it is about baseball.
So you love the Mets so much, you put in a preseason bet on them to get to the series, right?
I'm not a gambler.
Oh, so you don't believe in them that much? All right.
I don't gamble though.
Oh,
I gamble.
Never made a bet in your life.
I didn't say that. I can count on like a hand. Like, oh yeah, I'll throw something on.
Oh, okay.
But shout out to the Mets. And on a melancholy note, on a serious note, prayers up to all the people in Tampa, Florida. Period. With
absolutely
the ensuing storm or hurricane that's about to hit, and stay safe, everyone that's out in the SEC nation.
Yes, sir.
Definitely. That's a good shout. Stay safe in Florida. Stay safe everywhere, and make sure you stay safe long enough so you can come back and listen to our next episode about the Bulls and Chicago basketball in general. Peace. Thanks for checking out this latest edition from the Frustrated Chicago Sports Fan channel. Whether you're listening to this on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or watching on Twitch or YouTube, do the same. Like, subscribe, share with a friend, hit the notification bell so you never miss a drop. And to all my homies in Chicago, we say 3 things. Bear down, go Cubs go, and sell the team, Jerry.